Hi, I'm Larry A. Lesbian, and we're at the Brier bookstore. This is our first town hall meeting, if you will. It's a meeting of only two people this time, Lauren and I. Lauren's a volunteer here at the Brier bookstore, and here she is.
Hi.
Hi. And so this place is being thought of as a possible location for future town hall meetings. One of the things that this location is up against, though, is that it still exists in a monetary system, but it has been able to continue to exist based largely on the efforts of Lauren here, who has donated her time and her effort and her labor to keep this place open. If some of us here in the Zeitgeist movement could volunteer their time to help keep this place open, then it would really go a long way to convincing the owner that we should be allowed to have our meetings here. And it's a great location. I'll show you around in a moment. But these town hall meetings are basically, I know there's only two of us here today, but the idea behind them, first of all, is transparency. Because we're a group that doesn't hide behind secret meetings. You know, one of the things is if we ever tried to do anything in secret, if we ever tried to do something that wasn't completely out in the open in public, then obviously the charge would be that we're some sort of, group that's trying to undermine things and do secretive things, behind closed doors. And if we were secret, people could just make up whatever's in their imagination. And you know how the unknown is what scares people the most. So they could make up all kinds of, things about us casting spells or whatever, Whereas if we're right out in the open, there's no chance of that. There's no chance of them saying that we're some sort of cabal, because you can see exactly what we're talking about and exactly what we're saying, and you can see us, and we're real people. So transparency, gain trust, another T word. Also, the town hall meetings are for trainings and or teach-ins. If you've ever heard of teach-ins, those are things back in the 60s where they were trying to get people aware of certain movements or ideas or motivations, and they would actually teach people things that they may not normally have learned in public school. One of the great things about this bookstore is as I look around on these shelves, I can see a lot of forbidden knowledge. I mean, around the corner here we've got Marx, we've got Anne Rice over here. I just brought in What's the Matter with Kansas by Thomas Frank, but it seems like, all the banned books of history, even Catcher in the Rye is here. But there's a lot of knowledge that is basically been washed out of our public schools. A lot of, say, labor history, for instance, is one of the things. And by having teach-ins, you can actually fill in the blanks for people and make them become aware of things that they wouldn't otherwise be aware if it wasn't for that teach-in. So there's that, and then also, for people to come in and ask questions about the Zeitgeist movement, and they can actually talk to us face to face and go on record as having asked this question, and our answer goes on record as well. And also, for another T word, talk. This is a social movement. One of the problems with social movements, one of the reasons why they break up quickly, if they don't stand the test of time, if they're going to last longer than just a couple of years, it's because the people in those groups know each other and like each other, and it's a social fun event rather than labor, rather than something that's a burden to people. That, wow, changing the world, I mean, that's a lot of weight to lift on just a single set of shoulders, So by showing ourselves in public, people know that we exist, and we can see each other, so we know that we're not alone, basically. Whereas if you just sit and just look at all the different problems that face the world, and you may have come up with some solutions or come across some solutions of your own, and you're hanging around the water jug at work, as they call the water cooler wars, and you're talking to your coworkers about these different ideas and solutions that you may have heard of, or even the Zeitgeist movement itself and the different ideas and solutions there, they kind of look at you like you're crazy, like, yeah, like, right, like, man will ever fly, like, that'll ever happen, like, we'll ever make it to the moon, not in my lifetime. And, they just feel kind of isolated and, well, and basically relent over time. Well, maybe you're right, you guys are the majority and I'm this one lone person here with a crazy idea. Well, that's really not the case, but the only way you can really feel that is by actually meeting and talking with people. So that's the idea behind the town hall meetings. Now, hopefully this will be an ongoing location here, say every other Sunday at 8 o'clock, second and fourth Sundays. But if not here, we can have them in a different member's home or even in a city park. I suppose I'll have one at my house eventually, which isn't too far from here. It's nice, though, to have it in a public location. Makes people feel more secure and so on. But I'm willing to offer up my own home, and Lauren, you said you...
Mine as well.
You said you can seat how many people?
At least a dozen.
At least a dozen? Okay. So, yeah, so basically that's it. I wish I had more for you, but basically that's what we're going to be doing, and we just want you to join us. So please do, so that it's not just Lauren and I next time. Let me show you around just a little bit. This place does need some work.
We call it love.
Yeah, love, right. It does need some volunteership just to get some things a little bit organized, and it's a little bit cluttered in here, but it's a work in process, and you can change that. But you can see just wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling books, aquariums. This would be our meeting space indoors, but look at the fishes. Right out here out the back door is a nice meeting area that you probably can't see because it's too dark, but you can hear the fish tanks. A nice area outside to meet, in a urban fish garden, if you will. But yeah, that's the Brier Patch bookstore. Come and help, and also you can also get your copy of Zeitgeist Moving Forward on DVD here as well. Alright, so keep in touch, and we'll see you at the next meeting. See you then.